good morning, everybody. This is Dave Hawk with Allies today, and I have with me Alicia Maldonado of Mockingbird Communications. Alicia, why don't you tell us a little bit more about you and your business?
Thank you. And thank you, Dave. And thank you for the opportunity to talk about my
Very
business
welcome.
because I usually tell other people's stories. So thank you for letting me tell mine. I'm actually a California girl originally, came to St. George in October of last year. My business, I really work with nonprofit organizations and private companies. I'm a communications specialist or strategist. So I work with organizations and companies to help them tell their story, make sure that people understand their vision, their mission, why they exist, the kinds of things that they do, who they serve, and if it's a nonprofit, how people can support their organization, either through volunteer or donations, or if it's a private company, how they can buy the product or their service. Um, I've been in business for about 18, I'm sorry, for about 13 years. This is my 13th year right now. I was born and raised in Fresno, California, and spent the last 35 years in Los Angeles. And just a very quick background in terms of who I am. I was very curious as a child, and my mom used to call me Curious George because I used to ask questions all the time. And my first real professional job was as a news reporter. And I feel like all the different things that I was observing as a kid and just very curious about a lot of things was really helpful in that particular role. I did a lot of production when I was in the TV station. I was a news reporter, but also did documentary production, which kind of led me to what I'm doing today because
Yeah.
I asked a lot of questions about people. I wanted to see what their issues or challenges were. I would take the opportunity with the documentary to kind of present those and then try to provide some solutions to the problems. And so I went to work for a civil rights organization at one point, and that also kind of grounded me in social issues of our time. I was the national director of communications with them, and then went to work for a public affairs organization that helped me kind of decide what I wanted to do in the future, and that was to start my own business. So I started my business, like I
Excellent.
said, in 2000, late 2007, 2008.
Well, one thing we really like to do at Allies is because we're helping people develop relationships is learn a little bit more about who our members are on a personal level. So tell us, Alicia, of all the places you could have come to, why Southern Utah? Why St. George?
In the last 10 years, I had a national client that I was traveling all across the country. And I spent a lot of time in California as well, but did a lot of traveling in different states and could just kind of see all the different attributes and challenges that different communities have. That was part of my job with the client. And so I traveled to Utah not as part of my business, but just as on vacation. And my husband and I did a number of road trips over the last decade or so, and we stopped a couple of times in St. George, and we loved it. We're both very outdoorsy kind of people. We like to try to live a healthy lifestyle. The people are very friendly here, and it was kind of a small community, but it had a very kind of a community feel. But people are very collaborative here. They seem to want
Yes.
to work with each other, help each other, and they have some of the same issues that larger cities have. But I feel like it's a little bit more manageable. It's a little bit more that you can really try to affect what's happening here in a very positive way. So geography, the weather, outdoors, small town community feel, kind of those are some of the things that really what was attractive to us. And we did spend the last couple of years really looking at St. George, and then we decided to buy some property. We were going to build a home here, so we're here
Well,
permanently.
we're sure glad to have you here. And another thing I want to kind of like to ask about today is what problems do you feel like you solve when it comes to public relations or helping companies put together a communication plan?
Yes, I feel like I mentioned that I ask a lot of questions, and I really feel like I try to dig deep into an organization to really make sure that they understand what their vision and mission is, and that they're able to communicate that effectively to their target market. And again, I do a lot of work with nonprofits. I've also done work with small businesses. But for a nonprofit specifically, for example, I like to look at social issues and really try to see how we can resolve them. And I know that some things here in St. George include making sure that all kids have a quality education. I've looked at in issues like housing and homelessness. Also wanted to look at things where how you get youth to make sure that they're skilled to get the jobs that I know St. George needs. And so I've been in touch with different organizations who are kind of in those areas to try to see how I'm able to help them. And basically, I will look at them. We have long conversations about who they are, what they're doing, try to look for places where they might be able to strengthen, something of what they're doing. Making sure that they're communicating their vision and mission well. I combine organizational development with strategic communications.
Excellent. Tell me also today, how has been becoming an Allies member in that, and how has that helped you in your business and in building real relationships in Southern Utah?
Well, when I moved here in October, I knew absolutely no one, and so I happened to see an ad in a magazine in the airport about allies, and so
Oh,
my
yeah.
husband said, "You should probably contact these people," and I said, "Okay, I will." And so I just reached out to somebody. I don't know if it was you or someone, but from Allies, and I feel like what they're really they've helped me do is network with a lot of different business owners, as well as nonprofit organizations. You provide opportunities to really get to know individuals. Most of my relationships have been either business related or personal relationships. With Allies, I feel like you kind of combine the two so that you actually get to
Yeah.
know the business person from a business perspective, but also at the personal level, and that's really valuable.
Yeah, because we all know people do business with who they know, like, and trust. So it's great having you here with us today as our guest. I would like to remind everyone to like us on other social media platforms. In particular, we do have a Allies USA YouTube channel. So go check that out and subscribe to that and be looking for more interviews from us as time goes on. Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you, Dave.